The top domestic violent extremist threat comes from racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocated for the superiority of the white race.
We face an elevated threat from domestic violent extremists. I've decided to establish a domestic terrorism unit to augment our existing approach.
Well, with that big announcement, they really needed to show some results of all that domestic extremism, right? And according to Jim Jordan, well, the results were not honest. The top Republican on the House Judiciary Committee told Fox Digital that new whistleblower documents allege that the FBI is pressuring to reclassify cases as domestic violent extremism that are not examples of domestic violent extremism. And Jordan alleges that this is being done in order to justify the Biden administration's push to focus on these cases and have a special unit focusing on them. Here now is Glenn Greenwald, Pulitzer Prize-winning independent journalist whose work I read on Substack. Glenn, so they don't have enough of these domestic violent extremism cases, so I guess they're going to find some.
You know, it's not surprising, Laura, even though they now cite January 6th as the reason they have to increase their attention to this problem. In fact, even before January 6th, the Biden administration was saying one of its key priorities was to import the war on terror onto domestic soil and make that be a new war on terror, only this time aimed at American citizens. And throughout 2021, there were so many instances where DHS, Homeland Security, issued one warning after the next. There's going to be an attack on the inauguration. There's going to be one from COVID. There's going to be one from the Tulsa Massacre Memorial, none of which materialized. You could see them exaggerating and inflating the threat the entire time because what they want to do is usher in all sorts of authoritarian attacks on civil liberties in the name of this domestic war on terror. And since they don't have the cases, now they're just making them up, which is, by the way, what they did during the first war on terror as well.
Well, I was mentioning this to Matt Whitaker in the previous segment, but when you think of the concern that is raised legitimately, obviously, that Vladimir Putin hounds and relentlessly persecutes his political critics, you start to see that our Justice Department and what they're doing, and this is just one more example of it, becomes what they are waving their arms around about. They appear to be hounding and prosecuting and surveilling their political critics.
You know, we've obtained, and I've done reporting on, the documents from Homeland Security where they identify the kinds of people they regard as quote unquote domestic extremists. And usually it's just people with anti-establishment politics. They'll say people who are against the government, who question the legitimacy of government authority. Even there are sometimes people on the left, they'll say animal rights activists or environmental activists, and people on the right who are pro-life activists. It's clearly aimed at any sort of exercise of free speech and free association and free political protesting that the Constitution is supposed to guarantee, that they're going to say are just extremists and now should be regarded as terrorism.
And Glenn, there's a feeling among many political observers that the Democrats squealing over democracy is on the edge, knife's edge. Well, that none of that is actually genuine, given the fact that they're propping up all these supposed far-right candidates. Now, the DCCC chair was asked about this. Watch.
When it comes to the far-right candidates, are you actively doing anything to help candidates that you think might be easier to beat in November?
If you're talking about trying to pick your opponent, you might see us do that, sure. And I think sometimes it does make sense. And largely what you're doing is telling voters a fact that if they're aware of, it's important to them. I think you might see us do that, sure.
Glenn, so is democracy at risk or not? Which is it?
Yeah, you know, you would think, Laura, if the Democrats really believe what they're saying, which is that Trump-aligned candidates are Nazi white supremacists bent on ending democracy and installing a white nationalist dictatorship, they probably wouldn't be supporting those candidates. And it's so funny to watch members of the January 6th committee like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger outrage because they actually apparently believe the Democrats, and they're saying, wait, we thought you really believed that these candidates were threats to democracy. Why are you supporting them against anti-Trump Republicans like Peter Major, one of 10 Republicans to vote for Trump's impeachment? They apparently took the Democrats seriously and now are realizing the whole thing was a scam.
Whoops. Glenn, thank you. Great to see you tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.